I want to start off by giving a thank you to Alicia Toot, who is the interview queen for wrestling. I ordered a package through her again, trying to help people out during this economic downturn. And there's this cool little sticker. I'll turn that into a magnet and a kiss card. And I said to Yvonne, I said to my wife, I said, so should I have kiss cards that I'm selling off? And she said no. Also, there's a button here, and then there were a couple of pictures which Canada Post. They didn't read the envelope where it said "Don't bend, don't fold at all." So my wife's gonna try to make sure those pictures get flattened out. We throw them in a frame. I don't know where they're gonna go, but I got them, so that's important. And yeah, so kind of cool to have that. There you go. Everybody gets mad at her about her fonts. Anyways, it's been an interesting week. Antonio Brown has decided to retire again. I saw this and I'm like, wait, he was back? When was he back? Why was he back? Who? What? Antonio Brown retires basically every other week, and it's almost as if people stop paying attention when he goes, hey, I'm thinking about coming back. Are you coming back? Nah, I'm not coming back. I was thinking about it though. I had y'all thinking I might come back. He's got to be taxing for people that are close to it's got to be something. Speaking of NFL, the NFL is going to test daily during the first couple of weeks of training camp, and they are trying to sweeten the pot for players. They're not mandating pads for the first until day 20 or something along those lines. It's weird to see how the whole equipment thing's going, and offering no preseason. That could make for really interesting week one in the NFL. If there's no preseason, oh, now I've said before, I think the preseason in the National Football League takes too long. You see games where there's really nothing being decided. You already know who's getting the starting jobs, who's going to be the backups. Your starters might play for like half a quarter and then they sit. Like it's just it's sad. And then of course with fans in attendance, they charge them money. I've had that problem with the NHL too, where I've gone to a hockey game that's a preseason game and thought none of these guys are going to make the team. How much did I pay? Oh, crap, I paid too much. So the NFL and the NFLPA are trying to work this out, and of course, a lot of players testing positive since this all started. Like a lot, I think it's like 90. It's a lot, and that's a problem, and it's a problem Major League Baseball continues to have as well. So we'll see whether or not those seasons go through to the end. We're almost up to the start of Major League Baseball's season. It starts in a couple of days, and so we'll see. The Edmonton Eskimos will no longer be known by that name. They are changing their name. They made it official. And this has been coming for a while. Again, this is something that's been coming for likely years. And so the Eskies will get a new name. And they're going through the process of trying to find one. Good thing the season didn't start on time, huh? So we'll see what they come up with. I think it'll probably be Empire. It'll definitely be an E word because you want to have the double E. You don't want to change your helmet. You don't want to change your colors. You want to make sure everything's basically the same. Just that name on the records and all that. It's just standings just changes. So Edmonton is changing the name of the team. And with the CFL restart, Saskatchewan is stepping up and offering some help to the CFL. So they're stepping up and saying, all right, we'll offer you guys our stadium and we'll give you what, $3 million? Just $3 million help you out. So the CFL's got some bidding going on, and we'll see what kind of a shortened season they might be able to throw together if they can get the right amount of funding. They definitely need some kind of payment up front in order to have a season. Now, I want to talk about, and we're going to go ahead and combine this a little bit with an entertainment video as well, so the Alicia Toot shirt and all that. Netflix. So I was reading an article today, and I was thinking about this because it's true. Netflix has been criticized for just canceling shows after the second or third year, sometimes the first. And people get mad when they cancel while they're on a cliffhanger. But is that going to be a model we're going to see going forward, maybe on network TV? Network TV, of course, for years it's been you get a hit, and then you sit on it, and you just sit on it, and years after people have said, please just let the show die. The characters are not what they were. Everybody's running on fumes. If you watch The Big Bang Theory and you watch it all the way through, you watch as very slowly the actors change from characters to they're just themselves. There's really it's like when you watch all the Star Trek Next Generations and you go from having Deanna Troi to just having Marina Sirtis. The the voice changes, the look changes, everything. It's just eventually it's just she's hanging out. You don't know if she's half drunk or not, and it's just I'm here. What's now? What now? Here's my lines. No, I'm not putting my hair up for that crap. Nah. Oh, change my voice. I haven't done that in years. And the one that I think stands out the most on Big Bang Theory is Penny. In that the longer the show goes, the more it's just Kaylee Cuoco running around with a glass of wine, and the characters are gone. And the most stark example of that is if you watch an episode, one of the later episodes, and then you watch one of the first ones, and yeah, they're not the characters anymore. They're just sitting there making snide remarks at each other while they're basically themselves. So is Netflix right? Is Netflix in canceling shows while we still want more? Is that the best model to go through? And again, with Netflix, it's a matter of, okay, how many subscribers are we gaining based on this show? How many people are watching? How expensive is it for us to keep the crew together and the cast together? And of course, cast costs are going to go up. Dead to Me, they've announced is coming back for a third and final season. I don't mind that. So while you can say, oh, well, they're canceling it, oh, but it was a good show. Right. So while the show's still good, they're canceling it. Now, I do agree. The canceling shows while there's this cliffhanger going on is ugly. And I think if Netflix would just have these shows say, okay, we'll have one final episode of Santa Clara Diet. We'll have one final episode of, and different shows. And maybe you could have a final episode for, I don't know, Dark Matter. They could just buy Dark Matter just for one episode, just throw the cast together and just a finale. They could make it a Netflix thing. They could just call it Conclusions, and it could be all these series that ended on a cliffhanger, and they just bring the cast together. They get the rights for one episode, and there you go. You get a conclusion, and finally that cliffhanger. V, the new series of V, which I enjoyed by the end of series 2, great cliffhanger, and it's just gone. Netflix could absolutely bring together most of that cast. Marina Baccarin might be a little bit expensive now, but they could bring them together and have that one final episode and be done with it. Now, mistake I almost made, and so I'm throwing this into a video before other people make this mistake. I saw Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, the original trilogy, and the other movies too, in 4K, and I thought, man, I don't have them in 4K. Maybe I should pick them up. $34.99 is pricey, and of course you get all three. That's like $100, but still, then I'd have them all in 4K. And last night I was thinking about it. I didn't buy them, and I thought, well, wait a second. And so I went on to my Disney Plus app, and I'm like, yeah, they're all in 4K on here. I don't need it. So unless there's all kinds of really new unseen footage, unless they have a version of the movie which is the original before George Lucas went in and fixed them, I'm not buying them. And honestly, if we could somehow get the original version of all of the Star Wars movies and then make those 4K, so get rid of all the CGI beasts that he added in Star Wars that are just noisy and in the way, which he seemed to think every frame's so dense, there's so much going on. Anyways, I almost bought them, so I'm just throwing out there, if you have Disney Plus and you see these in the store, just do what I did and just go, wait a minute, I probably don't need this. It's just kind of what I had to do, so it's kind of a PSA on my part. Now, Disney World came out. I've been tracking what's going on with Disney World. Some of the reopening is, it's a misadventure. But again, now as a sports fan, I have talked about how, you know what, sports trying to find a way to exist during a pandemic. Theme parks are trying to find a way to exist during a pandemic. And we can have that debate about how to do so safely and how to make it work. But again, I can't begrudge a company. I mean, for the employees, there are a lot of concerns that they're raising, and I would certainly hope those concerns are addressed about, Billy doesn't want to go to work and catch something and bring it home to grandma. And that's basically the whole key thing here. If you're not worried about Billy, well, Billy's got a grandmother and he might go and visit her and that kind of thing. So increased risk is there. And one thing that Disney's had a problem with is that they have a mask mandate, but if you're eating, you don't have to worry about it. So people get, you get churros, walk around the park, you can get drinks all over the park. We added Disneyland, I'm sure it's in Disney World too. So people get their food and then they're walking around the park eating and drinking. They've made it now so that you have to sit down and eat or drink whatever you have or just carry it and not be actively eating and drinking. You can't be moving your mask around and then putting it back on. We're seeing numbers in Canada bouncing in the wrong direction. It's summer. People want to go out. They want to have fun. The whole social distancing thing and isolation, people are tired of it. And I understand. I've been leaving the house myself. I've been trying to do so as safely as possible. But yeah, I mean it's beautiful out here and it's summer and people want to go out and do stuff, but the numbers are definitely trending in a troubling direction on the Canadian side of the border as well. And so I don't think that just because a place is open that necessarily means things are going to get a lot worse. If Disney World does this right, and again, much like I have said with sports, if sports can exist safely, I don't see that there's any reason for us to yell and scream and cry about it. No, won't somebody please think of the children? But theme parks, it's going to be a tricky balancing act here. And again, it's a matter of health and safety and the economy and trying to figure out how both of them can exist during this time. It is not easy. And I don't envy the people making those decisions. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, not an awful day so far, but it's still relatively young. Oh God, look at the time. It's not young. So it's a day. It's a Tuesday. And there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe, like I said. And I will talk to you guys again soon.